The world stands on the brink of its most devastating conflict. Three nuclear superpowers, United States, China, and Russia, each with thousands of nuclear warheads, the latest military technology, and global alliances. But what would actually happen if these giants went to war? Today, we're simulating World War III, step by step, the trigger, escalation, and the aftermath that could reshape our planet forever. Welcome to Revive Brain Cell, where we explore the scenarios that could change everything. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This one's going to be intense. A war of this scale needs a massive spark. Here's our scenario. China launches a full-scale invasion of Taiwan, claiming it as their territory. The United States, bound by security agreements, immediately responds by deploying naval forces to the South China Sea. Russia, spotting an opportunity while America is distracted, makes aggressive moves in Eastern Europe, possibly attacking a NATO member like Poland or the Baltic states. Within 48 hours, we have three flashpoints: the Taiwan Strait, Eastern Europe, and cyber warfare erupting globally. Each superpower activates its alliances. The U.S. calls on NATO, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. China partners with North Korea and Iran. Russia mobilizes its CSTO allies and tightens its relationship with China. The point of no return is crossed when U.S. and Chinese naval forces exchange fire in the Taiwan Strait. Military power comparison. Let's compare the military might of these superpowers. United States, the most advanced military on Earth. 1.4 million active personnel, 11 aircraft carriers, 68 submarines, 13,000 aircraft, and around 5,800 nuclear warheads. Annual defense budget, $800 billion, more than the next 10 countries combined. China, the world's largest military by personnel, 2 million active troops, 3 aircraft carriers, 79 submarines, 3,200 aircraft, and about 350 nuclear warheads. China's navy is the largest by ship count, and they're modernizing fast. Russia, 1 million active personnel, 1 aircraft carrier, 70 submarines, 4,100 aircraft, and the largest nuclear arsenal on the planet, around 6,400 warheads. Russia's edge is its nuclear power and battle-hardened military. But it's not just about numbers. The U.S. has global reach and tech. China has manufacturing power and regional dominance. Russia has nuclear superiority and tactical experience. First strikes and escalation. Day 1. The war erupts with massive cyber attacks. Each nation targets the other's power grids, banks, and military communications. Blackouts hit major cities. Chaos spreads. Day 2. China launches missile strikes on U.S. bases in Japan and Guam while trying to seize Taiwan. The U.S. retaliates with cruise missiles from submarines targeting Chinese naval bases. Meanwhile, Russia attacks NATO supply lines in Poland. Day 3. The first major naval battle takes place in the South China Sea. The USS Gerald R. Ford carrier group faces off against Chinese warships. Both sides take heavy losses, but U.S. naval power holds. Day 5. Russia escalates by attacking a NATO airbase in Germany. NATO's Article 5 is triggered. Now all 31 NATO countries are at war with Russia. European cities begin evacuations as Russian missiles hit military targets across the continent. Day 7. North Korea, siding with China, attacks South Korea. Iran targets U.S. bases in the Middle East. The war is now global, with battles on 4 continents. Nuclear escalation. Week 2. Conventional warfare hits a stalemate. China struggles to conquer Taiwan. Russia faces fierce NATO resistance. The U.S. is stretched thin, fighting on multiple fronts. Suddenly, China threatens nuclear retaliation if the U.S. doesn't withdraw from Taiwan. The U.S. moves nuclear submarines closer to Chinese waters. The world holds its breath. Week 3, Russia, facing defeat in Eastern Europe, detonates a tactical nuclear weapon on a military target in Poland. The nuclear taboo is broken. Within hours, the U.S. responds with a tactical nuke on a Russian base. China, fearing escalation, launches a nuclear missile at a U.S. installation in Guam. News broadcasts show mushroom clouds. Global panic erupts, stock markets collapse. People realize this is no longer a conventional war. Global consequences. Week 4. Limited nuclear exchanges continue, targeting military bases. But radioactive fallout spreads. The Polish strike contaminates parts of Germany and the Czech Republic. The Guam strike affects Pacific Islands. The global economy collapses. Oil prices skyrocket. China's factories shut down. wrecking supply chains. Food shortages begin as agricultural regions are abandoned due to radiation. Millions become refugees, fleeing target zones in Europe, Asia, and the Pacific. Borders slam shut. India stays neutral but mobilizes its military. Brazil and Mexico close their borders. Africa faces economic disaster as trade stops. The aftermath. After a month of nuclear warfare, international pressure, and the threat of extinction force a ceasefire. The damage is catastrophic. 50 to 100 million dead, 200 million injured or displaced. Major cities like Shanghai, Norfolk, and Kaliningrad are uninhabitable. The global economy shrinks by 60%. Taiwan remains contested. Eastern Europe is a radioactive wasteland. The South China Sea is filled with sunken warships. But this was a limited nuclear exchange. If all three powers had used their full arsenals, human civilization could have ended. The world that emerges is unrecognizable. New alliances, new borders, and a broken nuclear taboo. Survivors face decades of rebuilding in a world forever changed. What do you think would really happen if World War III started between these superpowers? Would it stay conventional, or would nuclear weapons end civilization? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more scenarios that could change our world forever.